Alright, so I've gotten a few PMs and people out in the forum are asking me, hey, how do you use ezdrummer with this Reaper? Um, the original explanation would have been very long, very convoluted, and very hard to understand, but I went over to the Reaper forum, did a little digging around, and somebody who goes by the name of Billy BK1 has done us a huge favor and set up template tracks for all the ezdrum kits. And another guy by the name of Schwa has come up with a MIDI note namer, which the two of these tools together is really just going to make this really simple and easy for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we get ezdrummer in here and what it looks like and just how quick this is. So I'm going to right click in this window, and when I go to post this, I'll write the instructions out for where to put these files and how to set this up. For the time being, we're just going to run with it. I want to use the pop rock kit, so I'm going to pick that, and just like that, there's all my easy tracks on their separate outputs. I've got a MIDI track here ready to go. The only thing I'm going to do is I don't want to see this MIDI track in my mixer because it's just MIDI data. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to uncheck show selected tracks in the mixer. Now I've got just a straight up easy mix going here. So let's take a look at ezdrummer. And it's loading up the samples there, so while it's doing that, we're just going to take a look at the chain here real quick. Here's the MIDI note namer and the ezdrummer plugin. Should be about done by now. Let's see what we got. Oop. Skip that all important stuff again so you guys can hear it. There we go. Fun for hours, but I gotta stop. And let's create a drum track using ezdrummer here and the drag and drop clips it's got included with it. So let's hit open grooves. Let's go to pop rock. Let's try some funk and whatever. We'll just pick one here and hit play to hear it. That'll work. So all we gotta do here, let me drag my MIDI track up. Trying to fit this all on the screen so you guys can see it. I'm just going to pick it, drag it up here, and I'm going to let it go. And that's it. Let's hear it. Okay. Loop it. Okay. Now let's say we wanted, I'm going to change this to bars and beats so we can tell where we're at. So that gave us one bar. Okay, let's say we're going to go 3 bars and then we're going to put a fill in. So we're just going to click on this guy and then we're going to hit copy, selected items. We're going to put our cursor where we want the next one and we're going to hit Control V or paste, whichever one. Control V, I'm going to fire off another one in there, and then let's put a fill in there. So let's bring easy back up. Let's go back to our grooves. Let's go to fills. And we want a 1 bar fill, so let's go with 4/4 fills. Let's hear what our choices are here. Alright, let's go with it. And we're just going to drag that guy up and put him over here. Easy enough. Let's rewind it and let's hear what we did. And we're done. Okay. Let's delete all these and let's see what we would do if we were going to do this manually. Let's delete all these out of here. Rewind it. Now if we were gonna program this from scratch and we knew how to program drums, I've highlighted the drums MIDI track and I'm going to hit insert a new MIDI item, and there it is, and I'm going to double click on it, which is going to bring up the MIDI editor, and you can see if you get this view, you hit this view here and you change to name notes. Now you can see we got names here, but these aren't the names that relate to ezdrummer. These are just like your generic general MIDI names. So let's go back to ezdrummer, and we're going to find out the beauty of this MIDI note namer plugin here. We're going to pick that, and we're going to hit change file, and we're going to go and pick the pop rock drum map, and I'll show you guys how to do that in the thread, and we'll close that, and then we'll go ahead and pick on our editor again, and now all of our names correlate exactly to ezdrummer. So let's go ahead and click in a real quick beat here. Okay, I don't know, maybe put rock it up a little bit and put open hats in on the quarters. Okay, done with that. Let's play that. Okay, easy enough. Wash, rinse, repeat. Program to your heart's content. Let's say we want to create a backing track, and we've got a MIDI file. It's got drums, bass, guitar, all that good stuff in it. Let's go ahead and create a backing track real quick. Drum and bass backing track. Let's hit insert, media file, and on my desktop I've got a MIDI file that I exported from something else. And let's bring that in. And again, it wants to know if we want separate tracks or all merged. I'm going to import separate tracks. Let's get back to the beginning and see what we got here. So we got guitar 2, bass, we got vocals, we got drums. So let's drag our drum track. I'm sorry, I got these all selected here. Let's select one. Since we don't want guitar 2, let's just delete these ones we don't want. We're not going to use guitar 1, we're not going to use guitar 2, we're not going to use guitar 2 harmony. We got the bass, we're going to use that. We're not going to use vocals, and we're going to use the drums. So let's drag the drums up to the MIDI track for the drums. Drums MIDI. Let's delete these tracks we don't need anymore. This is just clean up. This is the same way Cubase or anybody does it. And then we're just going to remove those tracks. It looks like we got a few extra ones going here. Let's get rid of these too. Oop, should have hit shift there. Let's remove those. Okay, now we got it nice and cleaned up. We're going to rename this to bass. So now we got our bass going on there. We got our drums on there. Let's go ahead and get a bass plugin going here. VSTI. We're going to load up hardcore bass. We're going to leave that Omni. And although Steve Harris is a finger player, I like to pick Buzz. So I'm going to pick that. Now we got a good bass sound going. So let's close that down. And let's hear what we got. Oop. Bass not working. Let's check this guy out. No, it went back to 1. Let's make it Omni. Try that again. Alright, this sounds like Iron Maiden on a Sunday morning after a rough Saturday night. So let's get this up to tempo. We're just going to change the tempo on this, beats per minute to 160. Yeah, maybe back in the day they might have been able to do that. That sounds a little quick. Let's change it to 150. Good times. That's it. That's our That's our backing track. We can go ahead and put guitar tracks in here wherever we want. Create our own little copy, cover, whatever you want to call it. If we want to output that to a MP3 file that we can play in anything else, we're just going to go to File, Render, and if you want to output to an MP3, you're going to have to go out onto the internet and do a search for a file named lame, L-A-M-E _ENC .dll, and you will copy that to your Reaper main folder. C:/programs Reaper. I'm going to bounce this out, render it, whatever you want to call it, to my desktop. I'm going to call it Trooper. Okay, save. 192 is good. Constant bit rate, high quality. We'll hit render. And while that's rendering out, I think we're just going to call this one quits. Later.